The following podcast contains movie spoilers and mature content, including graphic descriptions of violence. Listener discretion is advised.
Welcome to Opening Kill, the podcast that dives deep into the chilling world of horror films. Every Thursday, we explore a different movie, from cult classics to modern masterpieces, uncovering behind-the-scenes secrets, analyzing themes, and sharing fun facts about your favorite horror films. Join us as we chat with filmmakers and fellow horror film fans to celebrate the fear in cinema. And now, the hosts of Opening Kill, Michael Doran and Brian O'Connor.
Hello, Michael Duran.
Hello, Brian.
How you doing?
I'm good. I'm just living, laughing, and loving.
As you always are.
Yeah, that's me.
Welcome to episode 19 of Opening Kill, the horror podcast that deep dives into your favorite horror films, new or classic. And we've got a good one. We have a very good one this week. It's a brand new movie that just came out this past weekend.
Brand spanking new.
And this came to us. It was my scare preview, I think, in February. And producer Jillian decided that she wanted to be a part of this. She had heard about this movie from her partner, and he had come home and showed her the trailer, and she got excited about it. So when she heard us talking about it, she wanted to be a part of this. So we have a full crew tonight. We have the entire Opening Kill staff, in addition to me and Michael, researcher Shay. Hello.
Hi.
We have researcher Danielle.
Hello.
And we have producer Jillian.
Hey.
We all went to see this movie when it opened. Actually, there was a preview showing the Thursday night before the official opening on Friday. All five of us went and we saw this because it was a film that, we were really looking forward to. So Death of a Unicorn.
Yeah.
Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega. We will get into that here in just a few minutes. But first, movies we've seen. What did you see?
I saw Red State from 2011. This one's directed by Kevin Smith. And oh my God, this one is a lot of fun. So it's a bunch of teens who live in a red state. And there's this kind of like the Westboro Baptist Church in that town. And they're just disgusting people. But yeah, it involves these teens who they're just a bunch of horny kids looking to get laid, and they find a person online who's willing to have sex with all of them at once. So they're like, well, let's go do that. And so they show up, but it's just like a decoy for this church. So they kidnap them, and horrible, horrible things happen. But it's really good.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely check it out. Kevin Smith. And it stars two people from the classic film Sky High.
Oh.
I love Sky High.
Will. And then the guy who turns into a guinea pig are in this.
Oh my God, no way.
Yeah.
Well,
Yes
there
way.
you go.
See, I
Yes
wish
way.
it had Kurt Russell in it though.
That would have been
'cause
better.
that
But it
would've
does
been
have John
better.
Goodman.
Oh, okay.
So that's,
fair.
comparable.
So I watched a movie that was my scare preview not too long ago, The Rule of Jenny Penn. Stars Jeffrey Rush as a judge who was sent to an assisted living facility after he suffered a stroke. He actually suffers the stroke in the middle of a court case and just collapses. And so he ends up in this place where he, along with other residents, are terrorized by another resident named Dave Creeley, played by John Lithgow. It's gotten really, really good reviews. It did well in the film festival circuit. I have to tell you, for me, it was very disturbing. It was very triggering for me. Now, part of the problem is, for me, my mom passed away last month, and she was in an assisted living home back in November for about a week before we got her the hell out of there, because I'm not going to get into the details of it. It was not a good situation, so we pulled her out and moved her with family, where she spent the last few months of her life. So this whole movie is set in an assisted living facility where John Lithgow's character is so diabolic, so cruel. It just, for me, it was very difficult to watch. So I think there was probably some personal stuff for me involved seeing this, but I mean, again, it's gotten good reviews. The acting was incredible. John Lithgow and Jeffrey Rush are incredible actors. They had a great supporting cast. I just walked away from it, just not a good feeling about the movie.
But is that like, so with horror, like that could be a good thing?
Well, it could be a good thing. I
Yeah.
just found it disturbing.
It's like,
because he was a son of a bitch.
yeah.
I mean,
Is it super artsy?
it's a little bit artsy, and they give him contact lenses that change the look of his eyes to make him not quite. I don't know.
Just
I can't
a
even
little bit off.
A little bit
Yeah.
off. I mean, and the way the light hits it, sometimes it's more than just a little bit off. It was just really disturbing, and he has some teeth prosthetics as well, which make him look just even more just sadistic than he was. And yeah, it was very disturbing for me. I wanted to like it. I didn't know it was going to be quite the way it was. I think it's worth people to go see it.
Right.
You know, I think it's pretty solid. I mean, the production value, the acting and everything else. But I think probably for me, it was just a little bit triggering for what I have been through in my personal life.
Fair.
And then to turn around and see that. But he was awful.
I
that
love
character.
John Lithgow so much.
He's one of my
Like,
favorite actors.
Have you ever seen Daddy's Home 2?
No, I
Oh
haven't.
my God, dude. It's one of his best performances. He kisses Will Ferrell on the mouth. And
Nice.
And they're daddy and son. So
Yeah. Well, you
cute.
see him in so many other things.
Well,
you
he's
know,
Lord
Third Rock.
Farquaad.
Well, Third Rock from the Sun. You know,
yeah.
he's just a goofy character. You see him Footloose, where he's the pastor who, not a nice guy. I mean, he's just but yeah, you're right.
He's a really nasty guy in Dexter.
That's what I was about to bring up, is that he plays like a crazy ass serial killer in Dexter.
Really
Yeah.
crazy.
Yeah, he does. So he is one of my favorite actors, and his range is just incredible.
If he was like a serial killer and trying to kill me, I would let him because I would fall for I would fall for his tricks. I'd be like, okay, you're fine. I'll get in your van.
Oh,
Give me some candy.
Yeah.
You're not a
Michael.
threat.
Jeez.
So The Mummy began filming. So I'm kind of really excited about all these reboots of the Universal monsters. And I've enjoyed all of them
Right.
to varying degrees. The Invisible Man, Wolfman, and now Mummy.
Yep.
And this one's just gonna be straight horror. It's not gonna be like adventure like the ones from the 90s with Brendan Fraser.
Right.
This one's just horror. And it's directed by the guy who just did Evil Dead Rise. So I'm hoping for some crazy gore. I think this is going to be a fun one.
Right on.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the new I Know What You Did Last Summer releases this July, which I'm very excited about. We've talked about this. Features the return of Jennifer Love Hewitt and Freddie Prinze Jr. It's directed by Jennifer Caton Robinson, and the official poster just dropped.
Yeah.
It's pretty awesome. They didn't put any of the actors on. All it is the bloody hook and the title of the film, which I think is amazing.
That's all you need.
It's fantastic. So, yeah, we're going to definitely go see that. We may, we're going to do that this summer when it comes out. But yeah, I'm a huge fan of that franchise. The first two films, I should say. The other one that came out when I think it was direct to video, and it was kind of like, yeah, I don't think so. But anyway, this one I think will be really good.
Hopefully.
Hopefully, yeah. This week, we are now going to talk about Death of a Unicorn, starring Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega, and a great supporting cast. And as I mentioned earlier, all five of us went to go see it in the theater last Thursday. And we did not have the theater to ourselves. Shay was late and had to sit next to strangers. So, but
Yeah, they were very loud, too.
they were loud. They were loud. Yeah, they were.
It was fine.
It was fine.
I hate sitting next to strangers.
Well, that's why I will. Well, the thing is, I bought Shay a ticket, and we weren't even sure if Shay was going to be able to make it, but I didn't hesitate because I'm like, worst case scenario, she's not there. I know at least no one will sit right next to me because we'll have that open seat. So,
And then you made me sit next to Michael.
yeah, sorry about that. Well,
Yeah,
I didn't,
what the fuck, bro?
I didn't want to. I wasn't going to sit next to him, so
That's fair. I was in sweatpants. I looked a mess. I was a mess.
We ended up vibing pretty much very similar to this movie, though. So it
I
worked
think
out.
so.
It was
I
fun.
think so. So yeah, as I mentioned earlier, Jillian, you got very excited about this film, wanted to be a part of this. So give us just the facts about Death of a Unicorn.
Sure. Yeah, so this was written and directed by Alex Sharfman. No idea if I'm saying that right. New guy. We're gonna find out. Stars Paul Rudd, Jenna Ortega. We've also got Will Poulter, Taya Leone, Richard E. Grant, and Anthony Kerrigan. Came out on March 28th, and it had a Thursday night preview the night before at some theaters, including ours. That's how we got so lucky.
Yay.
They filmed in Hungary, even though it takes place in like a wildlife preserve in Alberta, but they started it in July of 2023.
Yeah, you're part Canadian. How do you feel about that?
I mean, I'm not surprised that something like that happened in Alberta.
Perfect.
Right. It's not entirely shocking.
Right.
They did get a waiver. They got to keep filming, even though there was that big actor strike in 2023, because that studio, A24, is not part of the Alliance of Motion Picture and Television Producers.
Right.
So they got out of that one pretty clean, probably saved them a lot of time and a lot of money.
Mm-hmm.
Runtime of 107 minutes, but I thought it was I didn't feel like it was too long, too short. Things were resolved mostly.
Mostly. Yeah, I would agree. So if you've not seen this yet, Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega star as father and daughter. They accidentally hit and kill a baby unicorn while driving to his billionaire boss's retreat. Story takes a bizarre turn when the billionaire, who is played by one of my favorite actors, Richard E. Grant, reveals that unicorn blood has miraculous healing properties, actually cures his cancer. And so now they want to, study it more.
Exploit it,
exactly. And make a shit ton of money off of this newfound cure for cancer. Yep. So here we go.
I love the opening of this movie.
It was pretty obvious you loved the opening.
No, not that part. I'm talking about the part on the plane when the dad and the daughter, Jenna Ortega and her dad, are on the plane, and she leans on him, and you can tell that has not happened in a long time, and he's very excited about it. But then, of course, he drops his stupid ass papers, so he has to ruin that moment by picking up the papers and ended up slamming his daughter's face onto the armrest or something. But I thought that moment where you can see it in his eyes, I thought that was very sweet. Yeah. I liked it.
Yeah. So he's a single dad, basically, is what it is. And the one thing that I noticed right away, she has this really bad acne on her face.
My God. And I felt represented.
I just was
that was me as a youth.
I didn't know if, I'm thinking, she doesn't have that. Did the makeup people, what's going on? No, they would have seen that. What's going on? Yeah. Well, that's just, and then I'm like, well, of course they wouldn't have missed it. So, and then it turns out it is part of the film, and we'll get into that here in a second. So they finally, get off the plane, get their rental car, and they're going out to the estate of his boss, Odell Leopold, played by Richard E. Grant, and his family and his security team and scientists and their butler, who is hysterical in this. And so while they're driving out there, Elliot accidentally injures a unicorn fowl with his car. And when Ridley, who is played by Jenna Ortega, goes up to it, touches the horn, she has a vision. She connects with this creature. And this is where all of a sudden Michael starts laughing hysterically because it cuts out of the vision to the scene again where Paul Rudd is beating the crap out of this thing with a tire iron. And there's Michael losing his shit.
Because it was just so abrupt. She's having this out of body experience, and then it's just boom. Daddy's beating a horsey to death with a tire iron.
Yeah, blood splatter all over their faces.
Oh, yeah.
So traumatic.
It was.
And I was very worried at this point because this unicorn looks so fucking stupid.
So bad.
It's just its face. I'm you're dumb. You're a dumb animal.
It looked goofy. I agree. It did not look like it should have.
I was taking notes while we were in the theater, because we're all trying to frantically remember what the movie's about. And the first note I write is that unicorn is weird as fuck looking.
And it did look weird. It was everything about it, the eyes, everything on the face. It just was a weird looking creature.
Dumbass mouth.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was like My Little Pony, but you put your little plastic horse in the oven and it kind of melted a little bit.
Yeah,
right.
It was
great.
not normal.
So, a microwaved plastic toy.
That's it. So they do what anybody would do. They scoop up the baby unicorn and throw it in the car and
It's
take
a rental
it with
car.
them.
Who gives a shit?
Yeah, which is now beat to hell. I mean, like the bumpers like hanging off the front of it. It's crunched up pretty good. They hit this thing going. Well, he was not paying attention.
No,
and he was going way too fast. So they throw the unicorn in the car, and they finally end up at the estate. And shortly after they get there, Ridley discovers that the unicorn blood that got on her face has cured her acne. It's gone now. So then I'm like, okay, well the makeup people were good and didn't miss it originally. That was supposed to be there for this very reason. And Elliot, who is played by Paul Rudd, the father, he has needed glasses. And all of a sudden, he puts his glasses on to read these documents for his boss, and he can't see him with his glasses on. So he takes the glasses off, and his vision is perfect.
Yeah, he's got LASIK.
Yep, from the unicorn blood.
Yep.
So that is what gets them curious about what has happened. And his allergies are, because he had really
was
bad...
sneezing all the way up,
Yep.
and now he magically doesn't sneeze anymore.
Right.
But yeah, it's... This whole scene where they're meeting this very eccentric family
Oh, my God.
is pretty iconic.
So Will Poulter plays Shepard Leopold, the son, who is just... Oh my God, he is hysterical.
Like
would-
an
absolutely
absolutely
crushes
terrible
it.
person, but like
Oh my God.
I loved him.
Anthony Kerrigan plays Griff, the family butler, who equally hysterical. He's just so deadpan and love this character.
He's my
And-
favorite character.
Yeah, absolutely. And then Taya Leone as Belinda Leopold, the wife of Richard E. Grant's character, Odell Leopold. So, the cast is amazing.
Yeah,
It's
really
solid.
good performances too. Like just they make these people that are just so disconnected from reality. It's so funny.
So it doesn't take long for them to realize the unicorn is alive because they start hearing noises coming from in front of the house where the car is parked. And the family, it's very a funny sequence of things that start to happen because the car is literally like jumping up and down because this thing is inside there
Got
trying
like
to get out.
yeah, it looks like it's like one of those lowriders.
Yeah,
that
that's
bounces.
bouncing. That's exactly what it looks like.
But it's like a Volvo.
Yes, it is. It is. It's
Volvo.
a Volvo that's bouncing up and down.
And like the security team is just like looking out. They're like, "What's going on?" Because they're trying to hide this from this family because
Right.
they don't want to admit they killed a mythical creature on their land. I guess
Which is a preserve, a
It's a
wildlife preserve.
Yeah. And they ask them when they first got there, like, "Did you see any cool animals?" And they're like, "Nah, we didn't say shit."
So they go out there, and the thing, thing is still alive, and he's jumping out. And then,
Yeah, like you see its horn come through the roof.
Right.
You see its hoof kick out a window.
so it gets shot by Leopold's assistant, Shaw, who is played by Jessica Hines. She's the family personal assistant, and she's fantastic in this. So they shoot it. And
Oh, yeah, because it like bursts its head out the window, and then she just strolls up to it, puts the gun to
Yeah.
its head, and just pops it.
boom. So that is it. So, they realize not long after that the unicorn has these magical healing properties. I mean, the blood does. And so the old man, Odell, decides, hey, we should experiment. We should like dissect it and do all these tests on it and everything else. And so there's a group of scientists.
They just have one of those.
Yeah.
Well, because
by-
his company is like a pharmaceutical company.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Like, and he's like getting ready to die. So they bring in Elliot to be like, hey, you should be like the lawyer who's handling all of our assets and whatever.
Right.
And so they have all this like pharmaceutical knowledge, and then all of a sudden they're gifted this like magical
Oh
cure.
my gosh. So you have Steve Park, who plays Dr. Song, the lead scientist here. And he is brought in, and they create, this antidote for cancer, basically, is what they do by grating off some of the unicorn's horn. And now Odell orders that the unicorn needs to be brought to the lab for further testing so they can, figure out what they're going to do and how they're going to make this work, how they can replicate this, and then, of course, make all of the money they're going to make.
And like the
on this.
doctor though, once he wants them to replicate, he's like, "There's you can give us all the resources and like millions of years and we would not be able to recreate this.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, this is what you have. Like,
Right.
this is it. So make it last.
Yep.
And they don't want to.
So while this is all going on, Ridley is now doing research on unicorns and reading all these stories and comes to the conclusion that, you know, she should not, they should not be messing with unicorns.
Right.
But they're going to anyway.
Of course.
So they don't listen to her. And while they are wheeling the baby unicorn away, the group is ambushed by a larger unicorn. And we get this.
The opening kill.
So our opening kill goes to Dr. Song, who is impaled by the unicorn. So there is an argument to be made here that, you know, you could count the baby unicorn as the opening kill in this, although the baby unicorn will come back to life. So, you know, we really kind of talked about this a little bit, and we'll kind of figure this out as we go. But for now, we'll make this is the attack of the unicorn scene where we find out that these are actually the parents.
Right.
And there's two of them, not just one. And they have tracked baby unicorn back to the family compound, and here we are.
Yeah. And there's like, so you get little tastes of there being more of them. Like in this one scene, Will Poulter's character, he's out in like the hot tub, and Paul Rudd comes out to like hang out with him, and you hear like these sounds, and Will Poulter immediately is just like, okay, it's time to go inside.
Yeah.
But that dude is so funny in this movie. And like, so one of my favorite scenes is when they're talking about what they're going to do with it. And like, they're all on the phones, like being like, how much would you pay for this? Or like this and that. And just using it strictly to make money.
Yeah.
Not an allegory or anything.
Right.
But no, it's so funny just how they're handling this whole situation.
Well, and there's another scene too. Let's back up and go back to when they're all out at the car watching
Yes.
this thing. And the same thing, Will Poulter, he's like, I don't think I should be standing here in my swimming trunks for this moment. It's little things like that, lines like that he's just very funny.
He's so funny. And like,
Yeah.
I was, every time he was on screen in a new outfit, I was like, I would wear that. I love this.
And you know
shorts.
what? You would.
I would.
You
That's
would.
not, there's no LOL or jokes right now. This is dead
No.
serious.
So Dr. Song is impaled by the unicorn horn, and unicorn takes off in the woods, and Odell organizes a hunting party to go after it, and Elliot tags along. You wouldn't think he would, but I guess he's, that's kind of that. So I give this a butcher knife as far as opening kill. I thought it was pretty cool.
His guts fall out.
They do.
So, yeah.
They do.
Yeah. I'll give it a butcher knife
You
as
give
well.
the butcher knife as
Yeah.
well? All right. So there's that. So they go out into the woods and chase this thing down. And
This is
yeah.
a great setup for it because like the dad, the matriarch is talking about like how he killed animals like all the time. He's like, I killed like gorillas, lions, elephants, and Paul Rudd is just like horrified at this information.
Right.
And then the son,
Oh my
he was
God.
gonna go. He was
Yeah.
gonna go, but his compound bow, which he's very passionate about right now, was missing. So stupid.
So he also, Shepard also steals a vial of the grated horn powder.
Yeah.
And oh my, what he does with it, it's crazy. It happens a little bit later in the movie, but he ends up snorting it like cocaine.
Homie snorts it, smokes it, and drinks it in every way possible.
Yeah.
Like, so iconic.
It's very, very funny to watch him do this. But so we've got the hunting party out there. Ridley realizes that the baby unicorn is still alive, and she's texting Elliot, her dad, to get back, and it's just get back. But they don't have.
Well, whenever the unicorns are around,
Yeah.
the electronics stop working.
Right.
So, yeah,
Right.
nothing's going through.
So finally, all the texts go through at once, and he sees them, and it's too late because now they're getting ambushed again. Now we get some more kills here. We forgot. We got to go back because we did forget a security guard back initially where he gets his head stomped and squished during the initial attack before it ran off. Was that in there?
She's hiding
Yeah, like
underneath
right-
the car.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah, like right during the ambush, they start to like go out. The security starts going out to try to shoot. It's like a crazy shoot off.
Right.
And she does get a shot off on on the big unicorn, but they go out into the forest because she's like, oh, I got it. We have to go find it. But before that, you have the security guard who, this poor guy,
Well,
gets his head popped open.
and
This is a good kill.
and Ridley, she's underneath the car,
Like
or
watching it happen.
and the guard's eyes kind of get big and kind of pop, and yeah, it's
Well,
just
and he's
this-
just like, also, he's just like, help me. Yeah, I'll get right on that.
right,
What's Jenna Ortega gonna do?
yeah, and that was kill number 2, and then we go back to the hunting party scene here where Shaw, she gets bitten in the neck and then dragged off. We don't actually see, what
We
happens
hear her
to
like
her,
stop
but
screaming though. So,
yeah, she's dead. I mean, they weren't gonna leave any survivors or anything.
I wonder if they like stomped her to death like that one guy in the monkey.
God, that was pretty brutal, actually. But so yeah, so that's kill number 3. That is Shaw, and then we have a couple of security guards that get headbutted by unicorns. Kills 4 and 5, and
That's it for now. Yeah.
That's it. That's kind of it for now. Yeah. Then we get back to these things. And that's when the survivors realize that the 2 bigger unicorns are actually the parents,
Yeah.
of the one that they have.
So Elliot, which is Paul Rudd, and Richard E. Grant, they do survive the attack in the woods. They run back to the house and almost make it, but unfortunately, the 2 unicorns do stop. Poor little Richard E. Grant,
Oh.
your favorite.
Yeah.
And he's cornered, unfortunately. So he has heard from Ridley about the horn-holding experience that she had. And sadly, he says he wants to have the same experience.
Silly man.
Yeah, so he puts down his gun and tries to be friends with him, because that always works really well. And the one unicorn does put his horn a little lower, and it starts to glow. And he reaches his hand out, and all of a sudden it does stop glowing. And it rams right up his chin and kills him right then and there in the driveway.
I love that this man has so much audacity that he's like, I was just trying to like use your child's corpse to make myself richer, but here I'm going to extend an olive branch. We're going to be friends now.
Yeah.
It's like, no, get fucked. And he does.
Yeah.
He does.
Right
Yeah.
through the face.
Oh, man.
So the rest of the family does make it inside the house.
Right.
And that's when they start to draw straws on what to do next.
And the mom also has this great line where she's like, did anyone else notice like those like horns were a lot girthier?
God.
I died when she said that.
Like,
Everybody
it's
else
not
in the theater.
a seat, Tay.
Yeah.
Simmer down.
Yeah, no doubt. So they have this idea that, and Jenna Ortega's character, Ridley, says, okay, it's time now, return the baby to the parents, and that will calm them down. And that's not exactly what happens.
Because and a little bit before this, Will Poulter's character and the doctor, he makes her cut off the baby unicorn's horn,
Right.
which will come into play.
Right. So they they volunteer Dr. Batia. She's the one that did that with the horn, and to take the baby out there and try and make peace with the 2 parent unicorns. That plan does not work because the unicorns discover the horn is missing and they kill her. They rip her in half.
Yeah, so like one of them puts its horn through her torso, and
Yep.
then the other like rips her legs.
Yep.
And then she's now 2 pieces.
It was brutal. So I was not expecting the gore in this. I knew there would be kills. I was hoping there would be kills. I figured there would be, but I was not expecting the graphic kills that you see in some horror films in this
Right.
for some reason. I don't know why, but it was a lot bloodier than what I thought it was going to be.
Oh yeah. No, and there's so much just ridiculous gore in it too. But then there's also these just hilarious character moments, because like before she goes out, the butler has a moment where they're volunteering him to be a part of this plan as well.
Yeah, the
And
family
he's
likes
just
to volunteer these people.
anyone but them.
Yeah.
And he mentions like, I have like kids, and he's worked for them for like 30 years or something. And like
Right.
the mom, she's like, You do? Oh, that's right. Yeah, of course.
I
You
knew
totally
that.
do.
Of course you
yeah.
do.
Beautiful family.
Yeah, this family, they are just
The
so,
worst people.
Oh my God.
The worst people.
Yeah, they really are. So the remaining group goes back into the estate, and one of the unicorns then goes and finds Mom, Taya Leone's character. And
This whole scene, though, is so great because it's
gosh.
very Jurassic Park.
so that is what I was going to get to here. I think I turned to you, Danielle, and said, this is like the raptor scene in Jurassic Park, because these things are now in the house and they're creeping around and they're stalking the humans. And it was like something, it was a page out of Jurassic Park, totally.
Yeah.
Now, I don't think that takes anything away from the film, but it
Oh,
brought
hell
it.
no.
I mean,
Jurassic Park's great.
Yeah, but my attention definitely went to that, and I'm thinking, oh yeah, I've seen this before.
Right.
So they do reach Mom, Belinda, played by Taya Leone, and they just rip her to pieces. And this is where you see intestines all over the place.
And like again, like right before this, there's another great moment with Tay and her son, where she's trying to like talk to him, and he just like interrupts her. Shut the fuck up!
Yeah,
because he's high on the unicorn dust.
Because he's been snorting
He's been
it.
snorting it,
Yeah.
smoking it, whatnot, and he then, because it makes him smarter too in the moment. So he's just like, "This is what we're gonna have to do," but just so stupid and funny. I love these.
I didn't think Brian was ever going to stop laughing at that part.
Oh, well, no, it was very funny.
Just how he's
It
like,
was.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, that
Well,
line.
then in that moment, he like finds his compound bow and he's like, "Oh, my compound bow. Griff did find it." And then apologizes to Griff in that moment.
Not to
I guess I
mention,
could have gone on the hunting party.
not to mention, at the same time, Paul Rudd and Jenna Ortega are having a nice father-daughter moment upstairs, being like, "I forgive you," like,
Yeah.
and then you go downstairs to Mom and
Yeah.
son trying to have this nice moment, and he's just like, "Shut the fuck up! Here's
Just
what we're
the
gonna do."
Contrast of
It was.
families.
I think that's what it was for me, and it just caught me off guard. And I could not stop laughing. I thought it was so funny the way he just
was well done,
delivered
yeah.
it to her. I mean,
His comedic timing in this movie is top
Perfect.
tier.
Yeah.
He's brilliant in it. And I do love when you finally see him like use the compound bow. You instantly can tell this fucker hasn't picked this thing up ever. Just how he's holding it.
Right.
He's gripping it with his whole entire hand.
Oh, yeah.
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 I'm not an archery expert, but even I know. I'm like, well, that's wrong.
So Elliot stole the horn, and he offers to keep the other unicorns distracted so that Ridley can escape. And then we now it's morning. We cut to the following morning.
That was
And
abrupt.
It was, yeah. That kind of was like, oh, well,
Yeah, it
okay,
didn't seem like that much time had gone by. Yeah.
right. It didn't, but it had. So we go to the following morning, and Shepard now has his little compound bow, and he's holding Ridley, I guess, at arrow point. And I guess
He's
he-
like, I've had like 3 lessons with this, so you want to stay still.
yeah.
And yeah, he's just using her as bait
Mm-hmm.
because that's one of the things in the legend or whatever it is, where a maiden like pure of heart has to like tame him or something. So that's what he's using her for.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, because he's convinced that he can like trap them and then get them to mate,
Yeah,
and then
that's his
they can
plan.
just like have endless unicorns.
Because he experienced these visions once he snorted the powder, the grated up, horn powder. And
yeah,
so,
his little like dream that he went down was very different from Jenna Ortega's experience.
Oh my gosh, very much so. So the 2 unicorns, they come out, and this is where we see that back claw come
Yeah.
out of the front hoof of one of the unicorns, which I had not seen yet.
Yeah.
And this is really what a raptor. It was like, oh yeah, this is a raptor disguised as a unicorn coming out here. And the 2 unicorns come out, and they lay down on the ground to be comforted by Ridley.
Yeah, she's just stroking him.
Yeah.
And you do have this cool scene where it's very Alien 3, where the
Oh, right.
unicorn is like, she's like kind of backing out, like freaking out, and it's like right in her face. And I mean, Ripley. I wonder if there was a.
It makes you wonder
I
because
had
that was,
that thought
yeah.
too.
I think, you could be onto something there, because that is an homage to, and that is an iconic image now for
At
the
least
film.
it felt like an
because-
homage. I don't know if that was intentional. It's just that's where my mind went.
But that's one of the images that they put on a lot of their marketing thing. You see that. And from that image, the unicorn doesn't look great. I saw that and it didn't look very good just from the image. Then you see it in context with it moving and everything else, and it was a little bit better. But yeah.
I mean, I will say none of the CGI looked good,
right,
to me. But it's not like it ruined the experience. Like it was fine. Like whatever. I was involved. I was like already just committed to being in this world, so it wasn't a big deal.
No, I agree. It didn't take me out of the film at all, even though it might have. Shay, you want to chime in on the CG stuff and the practical stuff?
Listen. I wish the CGI at least was consistent because I do feel like the image changed so often. I know it was a consistently moving image and it was supposed to be a quick flash at the beginning. It was in darkness for most of the movie. At this point, at least it is in the daytime. I'm glad we got a slow shot of one of the unicorns walking slowly and we get to see its full form, the random dew claw on the hoof. It was interesting, and the CGI at least looked a little better at that moment. But already I was already thinking, man, but why did it look crappy before?
Yeah. You know, I think the worst one that popped up was near the end of this scene, and we'll go back here, but at the end of it, the unicorns trot away, and them running off, it looked so bad.
So bad.
That was probably the worst demonstration of the CGI not working for this film. Yeah, no, you're right, though. Now that I think about it, it was inconsistent.
So unfortunately, it did take me out. I'm glad it didn't for you guys, but it did take me out.
The last part did for me, like the one I just mentioned. I kind of had to think about that and went, oh, that's too bad.
But like right before that, you get such a funny moment that it's fine.
Yeah.
Because you get that's where we get Shepherd,
God.
right?
Almost, yeah. So Elliot comes out of nowhere.
Oh, yeah.
And he stabs Shepherd with the horn that he had stolen. And then he gets stabbed back by an arrow. And then this is pretty funny. Shepherd is bucked by a unicorn. I mean, it's like
fucking brutal.
It hits him so hard, it sends him flying across the back deck. I mean, and
just
I
how
wasn't
his body just like
God,
dead instantly.
I mean, I was not expecting it. I kind of laughed a little bit there too because I think it startled me a little bit. And he dies from his injuries.
Yeah, that'll do it.
No doubt about that. But the unicorns use.
But Paul Rudd also dies.
Paul Rudd also dies. But the unicorns bring him back to life.
Right.
Because they have the magic power to do that.
They touch tips and he cures everything.
Horn tips.
They cross the streams.
Yes.
And it makes this like little weird like cloudy bubbly thing.
Right.
So.
And then, Ridley and Elliot get arrested when the police show up because Griff, who survived, which I was grateful for, got help from the police and they're seeing all these bodies. And so they just automatically assume that Ridley and Elliot,
which is great because that shit happens in horror movies all the time, and like it's just like fine.
Yeah.
So to have it actually be like what would happen, the cops would show up, be like, "Well, you clearly killed all these people, so come with us."
Right.
Totally. Yeah, we have this moment where it's like it feels like the resolution. You're like, oh, the movie's gonna end and everything's great, and then the cops show up and you see Elliot and Ridley are just like, oh shit.
Yeah. And then they're in the back of the police car. They're being driven to jail. And then you see the three unicorns pop up, and they're galloping. And the cop looks in the mirror and sees them. And she's like, what the hell is going on? And they ram themselves into the police car. It crashes and goes off the road. And, Elliot and Ridley in the back handcuffed. They brace for impact. And that's the movie, folks.
Yeah. You do also get this kind of like throwback to like the earlier scene on the airplane where then they put their heads together and they're like,
right. They do that.
Another great moment. I love that. But yeah, interesting way to end it.
Yeah.
I didn't mind it. I thought it was fine.
Yeah. I mean, it leaves it open for a sequel if this one makes enough money, but
I just hope that they don't kill the police officer because in theory, she just saw that the unicorns were real. So that would have corroborated their story.
Yeah.
So in theory, ramming the car doesn't really help them.
No.
Because now they're just going to be fugitives from the, Canadian law?
Those goddamn unicorns fucking shit up. That's true. They're...
Oh, now Michael's...
I've blown your mind.
Oh, I hate them now.
The unicorns are just going to make them stay on the preserve. They live in the estate.
Yeah.
As their butler.
Maybe they
to the
want to
end of time.
They want them to be like their human pets or something.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. So that is it. So the final kill count that you actually see here is 9. I mean, I guess an argument could be made for the fact that the baby unicorn did die and it was brought back to life, as was Paul Rudd's character.
Right.
I mean, if you wanted to say there were 11 kills, you could count the baby and Paul Rudd. That would give you 11. If not, 9 is what you get. Dead bodies left behind.
There you go.
So, favorite character, anybody?
Yeah, Shepard.
Same.
Yeah, Shepard, I think for me too.
I really love Griff. I mean, Shepard's amazing. Like his scenes are some of my favorite in the film, but Griff is just like, and he survives.
He does. Griff is a close second for me, I would think. Yeah, they were both just very, very funny.
Does Griff not have eyebrows?
No, he doesn't.
That not throw everybody else off?
There was a point where I was like, this is adding to him being kind of like mysterious.
I was like, I sure wish he had eyebrows.
Yeah, me too.
Well, he almost doesn't act human. He's kind of, otherworldly. And
I know he did play like Victor Zsasz in some Batman thing, who's a serial killer who every time he kills somebody puts like another tally mark on his skin.
Right.
So he has played creeps before, so that adds to like, what's this guy's deal?
Right. Yeah.
I really love the part where Paul Rudd's like, is there an omelet station? And then Griff just walks off, and then later he's like, here's your omelet.
Yeah.
Well, because they're serving like the most disgusting food.
Yeah.
It's like the middle of the day and they're serving like crab legs and shit. Like, I don't like seafood.
Oh, well, I do. I wouldn't.
I would be Paul Rudd in this situation. Like, do you have like a Uncrustables section?
Right.
Like,
some chicken nuggets.
oh, dino though.
Yeah.
Dinosaur chicken nuggets.
Absolutely.
Yeah. You try to feed me crab legs at 2 p.m. No, thank you.
Favorite kill?
I think I'm actually going to go with the security guard who gets his head stomped in.
That was a good one.
It was so good.
Really? The CGI was just, man.
Yeah, but his eyes popping out and like I don't know.
It was so fake.
It was fake, but it's a movie about unicorns.
You're right.
Anybody else?
Well, I liked Richard E. Grant's with the unicorn horn right through the chin.
That was pretty cool.
I assumed because, of course, magical horses, mind you, are involved. There was going to be someone's head getting stomped in, someone getting kicked in the head, and a horn through a body part. And I was like checking them off in my head. I have seen all 3 happen, unfortunately, with real horses. Well, except for the horn thing, because
they don't really have horns.
Not yet,
yeah,
no.
Okay.
Or,
Just to clarify that.
Not yet, yeah.
Because I know you work a lot with horses. And
I do.
It's good to know that they don't have horns.
Yeah.
Horses are scary.
They are. They can do that.
I don't fuck with horses.
No.
Unfortunately, my mom got kicked really bad, and she almost got kicked in the head once, and it was terrifying. And I watched it happen like slow motion. So then watching Will get kicked in the head, I was like, ooh, almost.
Yeah.
But yeah, the stomping on the head, I just wish they said they had puppeteers and animatronic people working on this movie. And I want to watch it again, of course. And it will be a movie I watch again.
Yeah, same.
But it will be more on an analytical side to see when were they using that.
I wanted to know that too.
I don't think I noticed any of that.
I was hoping
it all just looks CG to me.
I know.
Yeah.
I wish it was a little more. I would assume it would probably be with the heads or maybe with the hooves. That's when they used.
Maybe.
Or maybe they did because a lot of movies they'll film it and then they're like, it didn't quite turn out, so just CG over it.
That might be it too,
Yeah.
unfortunately.
Jillian, favorite kill?
Honestly, for me, I think it was just the first one, just because, like you all, I was so shocked at how graphic the deaths were. Like I jumped when he got stabbed, like through the little hall that they were walking down.
Yeah, they're like in a hallway with the plastic wrap that goes around, like a tunnel with
because they're like trying to keep it like sanitary or whatever for scientific studies.
But you could see the silhouette of the unicorn outside. But
yeah,
it was like in E.T.
Yeah, that's it.
Yeah.
But no, I didn't expect that.
No.
So
Yeah, that one got me.
favorite kill, Danielle?
Probably also the opening kill because
Yeah.
I remember just being like, oh shit, something's going down now.
Right. For me, it was Shepard getting kicked in the head because it was so freaking funny.
That was
and it came out of nowhere.
Yeah, that was
I mean, and just
that was up there.
The reaction of the body. I mean, it just went flying and the sound it made, the thud, and then him just flying across the patio. That was pretty good.
Tay Leone's was up there too, just because like,
oh gosh, yeah.
Just because of who that is, I didn't expect hers to be so graphic.
Yeah.
Right.
It's like that's like a respected actress. Like,
Oh yeah, yeah, definitely.
I also really liked Odell's though, just because I felt like he deserved it.
Yeah.
So he was like,
he deserved
he was
the
acting.
worst things to happen to
They
him.
all did.
Well, here's
that
the
family.
thing. It was predictable. Like, of course, the horns
yeah.
coming down, and you're like, I know what's going to happen, but I can't wait for
Right.
it to happen.
He was acting so like entitled to the unicorns. So I was
Well, that's
just
just
like,
how he is.
Yeah.
He's entitled to everything.
true.
Right.
Yeah,
So when it happened, I
slashers-
was like, good.
Yeah, like slashers and Eat the Rich are now my new favorite subgenres of horror. Like The Menu, like all that kind of stuff.
Menu.
Yeah,
Oh,
like
yeah.
I love these types of movies.
Menu was great.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, let's grade this thing. Michael.
I think I gave it 4 stars or like 4.5, but yeah, it's great. I really enjoyed it.
Yeah. Shay.
3.
3 stars.
Yeah, unfortunately.
I mean, 3 stars is pretty good.
The
still.
for me, I like my effects. I
Yeah.
want, of course, more practical. I was hoping for more practical,
Got it.
and it was a little too much CGI for me.
Okay. Danielle.
I think probably a 4.
4 stars. Jillian.
Yeah, I'm in the same boat. I'm giving this one 4,
Yeah.
4.5. Like I'll definitely watch it again and happily enjoy it.
Yeah, me too. I sit there at 4 stars as well. So, Death of a Unicorn in theaters now. Check it out. Coming up next, we have your scare preview on the Opening Kill podcast.
Welcome to Jaunty Haunts, the podcast about all things supernatural. After 30 years of keeping a secret, I'm finally ready to share with the world that I see ghosts. This podcast is all about getting spooky and connecting with others who might also sense, see, or feel things beyond the ordinary. Whether you're a skeptic or a believer, let's connect, share, and maybe feel a little less crazy together.
You can listen to and binge Jaunty Haunts right now on Apple, Spotify, or wherever you podcast. Stay spooky, ghoul friends.
Scare preview time. This is the portion of the program where we pick movies we are excited about that are coming out this year. April 18th, movie called The Ugly Stepsister. This is a Norwegian comedy horror film. Very, very dark reimagining of Cinderella. It's the story of Elvira, who competes against her beautiful stepsister in a bloody battle for beauty. If you watch the trailer for this, it is intense. There's a scene where she's sitting in the plastic surgeon's office and they use a chisel, literally a chisel, to reshape her nose. I mean, it's gory.
I don't like nose stuff.
Well, it doesn't just stop, but there's other stuff too that they do on here. April 18th is the release date here in the United States. It looks very intriguing. Looks like there's going to be a lot of gore in it, but they also are calling it a very sophisticated, beautiful film as well. So just imagine Cinderella, and then the fairy tale and all the beauty of that, and then dump in the gory horror stuff to offset that, and there you go, The Ugly Stepsister.
Do you think they're gonna have like the talking mice?
I doubt it.
I don't think so,
That'd be-
Michael.
that'd be
I'm
fun.
sorry.
That'd be fun.
But would they be scary mice?
Yeah.
They like eat her face.
Yeah.
That's, yeah.
Oh no.
It looks pretty intense. So the trailer is out there now.
So I need to check that one out. I've like saw the movie like being talked about, but I haven't looked into it at all. So I'm intrigued now.
Cool.
Mine is Marshmallow or yeah, I don't know how they're saying it, but so this one looks weird because the poster is what I saw first. I was like, oh, that's a slasher, but then it's being talked about like it's a campfire tale that becomes real, and this group of teens start to question like what's real in their life, and so it's also listed as sci-fi. So I'm just like mostly intrigued by this because this definitely looks like a slasher, but I
Right.
guess it's a sci-fi horror. I don't know.
Okay.
But it's coming out April 11th and just looks very interesting.
All right. And that wraps up Opening Kill, Thank you to Shay, Danielle, and Jillian for sitting in. We've got a great film next week, and I know that Shay, you are going to join us again.
Yes.
Danielle, you are going to join us again.
Yep.
As we talk about the movie From Dusk Till Dawn. This is such a great movie.
It's a fun one.
Yeah.
It's a wild ride,
to say the least.
Yeah.
And we will do our deep dive into this Robert Rodriguez / Quentin Tarantino classic vampire film from 1996.
How excited are you to count those kills?
Not excited because I will be honest, I have not seen this in a while, but I know that there are a ton of kills. There's that whole scene that takes place inside the bar where it's just rapid fire. So that will be what I'm going to be doing this coming weekend.
Yeah.
And trying to figure out how many there are because there's a lot.
I don't envy you.
Yeah. Why aren't you helping me with that?
I'm busy.
Okay.
I have socks that needed to be folded.
Perfect. Jeez. All right. Please like and subscribe. Tell your friends and family about Opening Kill. You can also email us if you have, a movie idea you want to, suggestion you want us to do a movie. If you just want to contact us, if you have a complaint, we'll delete it and not read it, but you can still send it. So,
Yeah, send it.
Yeah, please.
Till your heart's content. Go for it. But yeah, if you want to, that is openingkillpod@gmail.com.
All right. We'll see you in 1 week for From Dusk Till Dawn.
The Opening Kill podcast is hosted by Michael Duran and Brian O'Connor. It's produced by Mystic Cloud Productions. Thanks for listening. And don't forget to subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or anywhere you listen to your favorite podcasts. Follow us on Facebook and Instagram too. Join us next Thursday for a brand new episode.